Man, running a business is not all blue sky and white puffy clouds. There's some tough days. It's hard to do, man. If you haven't done it, it's hard. It's hard to make a living. There is no giant easy money path where people think you guys who own businesses or ladies, it's just all easy. It's not. It's hard work, and man, there's no guarantees. It's a struggle, and that's when things are going well. Now you introduce new things like last year in March, we had a novel coronavirus out of Wuhan, China, and it disrupted things, and everyone got scared, and our health department officials, our public health officials recommended 2 weeks to flatten the curve so we could get a handle on things and figure out what's going on. What's the best way to find out who's vulnerable to this respiratory virus and how we're going to protect ourselves and all that. And so people said, okay, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We'll all stay home, shut down the world. And what did we learn? Well, we learned that 2 weeks turned into now we're going to move on 2 years, right? And what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. We disrupted all kinds of things. Now we're calling it supply chain disruption, where .gov just showed up and said, you must, you shall, and all around. And now what they did do is say, oh, what we're going to do is we'll shell out some money. So our federal government spent now $5 trillion, and now we just added another $1 trillion of infrastructure, $6 trillion. Oh, do you know what that's called? That's called deficit spending. And when you invest more, you produce more cash to chase after the same amount of economic activity, that's called inflation. So now we have disruptions from people shutting down countries, economies, and then suppliers have to start and stop, right? In a free market where people just voluntary exchange. I want to go to work here. Oh, good. I'll hire you here. Oh, I want to buy this good. Okay, I'll produce this good for you. All around, we set up suppliers and customers, and it all works great. I buy from this company sometimes. I have another vendor. They source things, send them to me. Man, it works. But then when you have the .gov show up and says, oh, you must, you shall. And who did all that work? Was it the legislatures in the state of Louisiana that voted to say, hey, shut down? No, it was just the governor. He just decided. How long did his decision last? Oh, 18 months. That's all. 18 months. The legislature didn't vote on that. Just the executives and the public health officials just decided. So now, what consequence? Real simple. Let's just be practical for just a second. Is that you can't get aluminum pans and lids. The ones that you can get are 4 times the price of what they were at the beginning of the coronavirus. Now, you might say, well, golly whiz, Paul, how many pans do you use? Well, we use quite a few, quite a few. This is about 2 months worth of lids and a few weeks worth of pans. I'm going to get the pans from another vendor. I found them a little bit cheaper from someone else. And golly whiz, now I got to go buy $5,000 worth of aluminum pans and store them somewhere and hold them all. And I'm thankful to get them, man. I'm glad. Otherwise, what are we going to do without aluminum pans? We're going to have to modify our processes right before the holidays. And I'm just telling you that freedom is better. We cannot live in a place where government just decides and disrupts and they just spend other people's money. Our money just spent it. $6 trillion. You know how much money that is? That's, oh my God, that's $50 per hour that Americans work in a year. Spent on what? On frivolous, right? And it didn't compensate for all these losses. Like now my cost of goods, brisket prices, we sell brisket, right? Here's a picture of brisket on my barbecue trailer right here. Oh, it only rose 85% since February. Oh gosh, Paul, that's only temporary. Yeah, we worked hard, scratched hard, found 4 different vendors. We got it down to up 60%. Up 60%. Ribs up. They were up 60-something percent. We scratched, found another vendor. Oh, they're only up 45%. Barbecue's tight margin already. And now I got to pay 2 times as much for foil pans. Thank God I got them, and pay all this much for my number 1 and 2 sellers. That's called disaster. Disaster. And it's all .gov, right? They just decided, public health officials, right? They just decided, oh, we got to do this and that. What would be better is that people decide, free people decide to take care of themselves, just like you do for every other part of life. You don't ask .gov if you can put gas in your car or whether you should buy a house or not, but they want to impose their will on all these areas of life, and they are not efficient. They are not efficient, and they spend other people's money which is the least efficient way to do anything, is to do it spending other people's money. Freedom is better, and we will never lock down again. Never. Freedom is better. You get to decide what you want to do with your life. You want to go here or there, great. As long as you're not harming people, you're obeying the laws of the land, that's awesome. But now we've got imposition of lockdowns, supply chain issues, disruptions. This is not working. This is not how freedom works. And it will not happen again. Freedom is better. What are we going? You want to buy 10 years worth of Christmas presents and hoard them up because you can't get them next year? You want to? No, we can't do that. That's not how life works. Oh, we'll just spend more money on someone else's money, by the way, and pay people not to work. Oh, that's how that's worked. Yeah. That's not how things work. Freedom is better.